Keller and I'm a digital artist from Mexico. On this tutorial, I'll teach you how to create a cute Valentine's Day illustration in Adobe Illustrator. I'll show you how to create a fun concept out of basic shapes, as well as some tips to speed up your workflow. All the keys and shortcuts I use will be displayed on the screen so you can follow along. Let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is open Adobe Illustrator and create a new document. To create a new document, if you don't know how to create one, you're going to go here to File, New, or press Ctrl N on your keyboard. After you do that, a window like this should appear. I'm using the latest version of Illustrator CC, but if you're using a different version, this information should be the same. You're going to make sure that you select a web preset and that you select the size that is 1280 pixels by 1024 pixels. And then make sure that you select the color mode that is RGB. You're going to hit create and have your new document. The first thing we're going to do to create this illustration, that is going to be two halves of an orange, is going to use basic shapes. So to access the basic shapes, you're going to go here to your tools panel, and probably by default you're going to see a rectangle like this, but if you click and hold that click, you're going to see the rest of the shape tools. Now we're going to be using these a lot, so a good idea is to release your click here where this little triangle is, so we can make this window detach and move it around here near our canvas, where we can access each tool quick without wasting too much time going to this part of the screen. And you can access all these tools, even the ones that doesn't have a shortcut. So the first thing we're going to do is create 3 circles. So to create a circle, we're going to go to the ellipse tool or press L on our keyboard. And then we're going to click on our canvas. And here we're going to have the width and the height of the ellipse. Now these numbers are going to be the same because I'm going to be creating circles. So a good idea is here to click on the constraint width and height proportions to make sure that if I change one number, the other one changes. So I'm going to create a circle that is 305 by 305. Then I'm going to click again and create another circle that is 289 by 289. And finally, I'm going to create another circle that is 258 by 258. Now I have these 3 circles, but I want them to be sharing the same center. So what I have to do is select everything with my selection tool or press B on our keyboard. And then when I do that, you can see that at the top of this top bar, it has changed because now it's telling me that I'm selecting ellipses. And here it's showing me the align tools. So you can access them here, or also you can go here to Window, Align, or press Shift F7. Once you have this open, you're going to make sure that you are horizontal align center and vertical align center. And as you can see, they share the same center. Now the next thing I want to do is create a line. So I'm going to go here to the pen tool or press P on our keyboard, and then make a point here, then press Shift to make a straight line and make another point here. It really doesn't matter if you are making it this longer than the circles. So I'm going to make sure that this line doesn't have a fill because I don't need them. I only want the stroke. And then I'm going to go here to the stroke options. And if you don't have this window for whatever reason, you can go here to Window, Stroke, or press Ctrl F10 on your keyboard. I'm going to change the weight to the line to be 14 pixels. By selecting my line first, because if you see that didn't happen because I hadn't selected my line. And now what I want to do is rotate this line 2 times around the circle. And as you know, a circle has 360 degrees, so we're going to divide that by 3 and get 120. So I need to move this line 120 degrees twice. So I'm going to go here to my rotate tool or press R on my keyboard, and then just double click here. So do I get these options? And then here on the angle, as I told you before, I want to move them 120 degrees, and I'm going to make a copy. After I do that, you can see that this line has appeared, and I could go here again and double click and input that value again, or I can press Ctrl D on my keyboard to repeat the last action that I just did. Once I have my 3 lines, I'm going to select them, and you can select them with your selection tool by selecting them like this, or you can go and select one and then go here on the top of this bar, and you can see this last icon that says select similar objects, and if I click that, you can see that I have selected the objects that share the same stroke, and I'm going to group them by pressing Ctrl G. Now the next thing I want to do is use this as a cutting tool to my circle. So I'm going to select my lines and then go here, Object, Expand, and then press OK. So now you can see that I have my lines, that they no longer have a stroke, they are now paths. Then I'm going to go here to my window and then go to Pathfinder or press Ctrl Shift F9. After I do that, I'm going to select my smaller circle. I'm going to select all my lines and unite them so they don't have this, so they are one shape. So I'm going to go here to my Pathfinder, and the first here on the shape modes is going to be unite. Once I have them to be one single shape, I'm going to align them to my other circle. So I'm going to select everything, and again here on my align tools, go horizontal align center and then vertical align center. Then I'm going to select my smaller circle and shift again to select my shape that I just created out of my lines, and then go here in the Pathfinder and then select minus front. So what this is going to do is going to subtract this shape that we created with the lines. Now that I have these kind of triangles, I'm going to round them, and if you press A on your keyboard or go here to your direct selection tool, you can see that these little handles have appeared. So I can move them around, or I can input the value here on the top, and I'm going to input actually 14. So now you can see that I have rounded these shapes. Now I had selected my colors to save time, but you can feel free to pick the colors that you like. I'm going to change these triangles to be this yellow, and then the other circle I don't need a stroke, so I'm just going to change the fill to this kind of white color, kind of gray color, and then I'm going to again remove the stroke and use this yellow color. Now that I have this shape that is resembling an orange, I can make it a character, and to do that I'm going to add a mouth and some legs. So I'm going to get a little closer so I can see my shape well. So I'm going to press Ctrl plus so I can zoom, and then with my spacebar I can pan around. Then I'm going to go here to my shape tools and create an ellipse. So I'm going to press L on my keyboard, or just click here and then click again, and this time I'm going to actually create an ellipse. So I'm going to click here to unconstrain the proportions, and I'm going to change the width to be 10 by 60, and I'm going to hit OK, change this to this purple color and place it around here broadly. Then I'm going to make a copy of this, so I'm going to select it, and when I select it and move it, I'm going to press Alt to make a copy, and then Shift to move it on only one direction, and I'm going to move it around here. Then I'm going to create a mouth, so I'm going to go here again to my ellipse tool or press L on my keyboard, and this time I'm going to make a circle. So I'm going to make a one that is 50 by 50, and this is going to be this one. I'm going to create a copy, so I'm going to press Alt and Shift and move it here to the bottom. Change the color to this one, to this, I think this purple works fine. Well, maybe not. I'm going to select this kind of brown color. Then I'm going to change this one to this pink. Then I'm going to go here to my direct selection tool or press A on my keyboard and go here to this anchor point on the top and press delete, because I only need half the circle. Then I'm going to select these two anchor points and go here to the top where it says connect selected endpoints to make them a shape again. Now I'm going to move a little bit down the circle. I'm going to cut it by going here to edit, cut, or pressing Ctrl X on my keyboard select this shape, go here on the below the stroke and the width, and here it's gonna tell you to draw inside. And when I click that, you can see that here on the shape a little dotted line has appeared. This is indicating that I can only draw inside the shape. And I'm going to paste in place by going here to edit, paste in place, or pressing Ctrl+Shift+B. And now to go outside the draw inside mode, you can go here back again to draw normal, or double click outside your shape. Now I'm going to move this shape around here in the middle of the eyes, and a good idea is always to group all the shapes that move together. So I'm going to group this by pressing Ctrl+G, and I'm going to move it around here. And now the next thing we're going to do is create some feet. So to do that, we're going to go to the pen tool or press P on our keyboard, and then make a point here, make another one here, make another point here, and this time click and drag a little bit, then go around here, and again click and drag a little bit, and then go here and close the shape. And now you can see that I have a little feet. Now I'm going to select this one, change the color to a darker orange, and then I'm going to go right click, arrange, send to back, or Ctrl+Shift open bracket. Now I want to create a copy that is exactly mirrored, so I'm going to go here to the rotate tool, and if you click and hold that click, you're going to find the reflect tool. So you can double click here, and a window like this should appear, and you can here have a preview, and make sure that you're reflecting on the vertical axis, and then select copy to make a copy. Now I'm going to move this one that I just created while pressing Shift, so I move it on only one direction around here. Then I want to create this both of them to be only one shape, so I'm going to go here to object, compound path, make, or you can press Ctrl+8, and now this is a single compound path now. And next, what I want to do is add some shades. So what I want to do is go here to my pen tool or press P on our keyboard, and then go here, make a point, then make a diagonal line around here and make another point, and then close your shape. And I'm going to use this purple, and I'm going to change the transparency. So I'm going to go here to my transparency window, and if you don't have that open, you can go here to Window, Transparency, or press Ctrl+Shift+F10. Then I'm going to change the transparency to be overlay, and change my opacity to around 50%. Then I'm going to cut it again as we did, Ctrl+X, select my shape that I just created, my compound path, and then go here to draw inside or press Shift-D twice, and then again Ctrl+Shift+B to paste in place. And probably I made it too light, so if you want to access again this shape, you can double click here and then select this shape. And maybe I went too far with the 50, so I'm gonna go 80. And yeah, I think this is looking better. And again, you can remember that you can double click here and you can change this path a bit until you are completely satisfied. And then I'm going to create another circle, so I'm going to go here to the ellipse tool or press L on my keyboard, and this time I'm going to create a circle that is 258 by 258. And now what I want to do is move it around here, and then go here to my scissors tool or press C on my keyboard and cut here on this anchor point, and then around here, and then you're gonna select this part that you just cut and delete it. And to see it better, you can actually swap the fill so you can see what you created. Then you're gonna go and select the pen tool or press P on your keyboard, and move it around here, here, and close your shape. This is going to be the shade of the small triangles. So I'm going to select this one. Again, select my purple color. Go here again to overlay and change this to around 60%. I think that's okay. Then I'm going to cut it. And I want to make sure that all these shapes are one and not a group. So again, I'm going to go Object, Compound Path, Make. And then I'm going to go again to Draw Inside mode and press Ctrl-Shift-B. And double click to go outside this. And now I have an orange. And I want to group it, so I'm going to press Ctrl-G. And then I want to create a copy. So again, what we did here with the Reflect tool, or you can go right click, Transform, Reflect, and then making sure that you're reflecting on your vertical axis. Make a copy, move it while pressing Shift around here. And now we're gonna make this other orange to be kind of girlish, so we're gonna add some eyelashes. And to do that, we're gonna create a triangle. So we're gonna go here to the Polygon tool, and then click. A window like this is going to appear, and you're going to make sure that you have 3 sides, and the radius for now doesn't really matter. And now you have your triangle. And I'm going to make it this purple. I'm going to rotate it while pressing Shift, going here on one of the corners to 90 degrees. Then I'm going to change the width and the height. So for this eyebrow, I'm gonna make this around 6 on this one, and on this other one around 20 pixels. So we have a shape like this. And then I'm going to simply round the corners again by going to my direct selection tool, and you can see the handles here. You can input here 1 pixel corner, and I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to make a copy again by right click, Transform, Reflect, make sure I'm reflecting on the vertical and making a copy. And then while pressing Shift, I'm going to move this one around here. Then I'm going to select these two, cut them by pressing Ctrl X, double click on the group that I create and Ctrl Shift B. So now they are going to be inside the group. Now that I have my oranges, I'm going to group them, both of them, while pressing Ctrl G. Then I'm going to go here on my Align tools, or here, and make sure that I'm aligning not to the selection, but to the artboard. And then I'm going to do here again the horizontal align center, and then the vertical align center. I'm going to create some shade for these oranges. So I'm going to go to my Ellipse tool or press L on my keyboard. And then I'm going to make one that is 590 by 40. And I'm going to make this gray, center it again, put it around here, and send it to back by going right click, Arrange, Send to Back. And maybe I can make this one bigger. So while going to one of the corners, I'm going to press Alt and Shift so I can transform it and move it around here. So you can see that now my values have changed to 712, but let's change this one to 48. And I'm going to move it a little bit to the top, around there. I think that's looking better. And finally, we're going to add some text here. So we're going to go here to our Type tool or press T on our keyboard, and then click, and we're going to type "Be my other half." And I think this you can increase the size here by probably, for now it's going to be only 72, so we can see it, but I think this is too big, so we're going to go around 40. And what I want to do is I want to center this here, the text, and then as you remember, we are aligning to the artboard, so I'm going to horizontal align center and put it around here. While pressing Shift, you see I move it and I constrain it to the same. And I want to change the color to this darker purple that we've been using, and I want to make some emphasis on this work half, so I'm going to select it with the type tool and change it to this orange. And now I think this font doesn't really work because it's the one that comes straight away with Illustrator, but you can go here to Google Fonts, they are free, and you can type here on the search bar Gloria Hallelujah and download it. I think this is going to work just fine for our illustration, so I'm going to select this one and then type here and find the Gloria that I just downloaded. And with this we're going to finish our illustration by selecting everything, group it with Ctrl G, and then horizontal align center and vertical align center. And with this we have finished our illustration of two cute halves that you can send to your friends or to your loved ones. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.